What's up, YouTube? It's Rob Mack from M3 Beats, and welcome to episode 2 of Maintenance Mode.
Rob Mack.
So the 335 is out of my service plan and out of warranty, so now I'm taking a lot of the maintenance into my own hands. You just saw in the last video where I did my first oil change with Liquid Moly Gen. So far, that stuff's been great. Now I'm going to jump in and change my stock spark plugs from the OEM plugs to NGK plugs that are a step colder, because that's what everybody in the tuning community, as well as the guys at Pro Tuning Freaks with the boot mode tuning software, recommend for a car with my modifications and the stage that I'm at. So let's recap the build. So I am stage 2, 93 octane aggressive tune on the boot mode 3 platform. I'm full bolt on, so that means I got the front mount intercooler, the turbo hard piping all around, and then also the catless downpipe. I'm also running a pure stage 2 electronic wastegate turbo with an upgraded high flow inlet. So this car has been heavily modified from stock. I get a little bit of a stumble every once in a while in the low RPMs when I'm driving around town. Not expecting a tuned car to be crazy smooth the same way that it comes from the factory, but would like it to be a little bit more predictable and a little bit more smoother. So hopefully these spark plug changes are the last piece of the puzzle. So with that said, let's jump in. So you only need a few basic tools to perform this job. You obviously need the 6 spark plugs, a feeler gauge, a gap tool, 14 millimeter spark plug socket. You need a special one. You're not going to be able to use any one out of your tool set, so you will need to buy one that is thin walled, specifically made to do this job, because it's a really tight space you're going to be going into. And then besides that, just got to gap the spark plugs now, and then go ahead and start putting them into the vehicle. All right, so first things first is we got to take off the engine cover and then remove the cowling in the back so that we can access the bracer bar, so that we can take that off. And then we should be able to have pretty much a clean line of sight and access to all of the spark plugs that are hidden behind behind the cowl. So that'll take a couple of minutes. I'm going to time lapse that, just plow through it really quick, and then we'll come back and then we'll talk about the procedure to take out the spark plugs. All right, so we got the braces off, the cowls off. So now I got to get the O2 sensors out of the way. There's a bracket with a T30 on it. The first thing you got to do is take the O2 sensors off and move them out of the way. You don't need to disconnect. You just need to get them out of the way so that you can get that bracket. Voila. So the next part is pretty easy. All you got to do is pop out each one of the coil packs, then remove the spark plugs that are in there. Carefully put the new ones back in, torque them down to spec. I think it's 23 Newton meters, and then put the coil packs back in, make sure they plug in, and then you are ready to start reversing everything else that we did, putting the braces and the cowls back on, and then we're done. So here's a quick look at cylinder number 4, I think. It was the 4th spark plug that I'm putting out, let's put it that way. I'm pulling out. So you can see how deep that is and how narrow that channel is. So you have to have one of these spark plug tools with the narrow, thin walls to be able to get to it. On an extension, and once you get it on there, then you just got to break it free. Takes a little bit of force. So I'm gonna need both my hands, so I can't break it with one hand because I'm weak. But that's pretty much how you get to it once you pop the coil packs off. Coil packs are pretty easy too, just so you know. These just flip up, and then when you push it all the way, the connector will come out. Pull the connector off, and then just gently wiggle the coil pack out. Coil packs look like this if you've never seen them. Make sure that you line up the coil pack the same way that it came out. There's little groove guides right underneath the connector that show you where each one is supposed to go. And if you notice, they're all clocked slightly differently. That's not by accident, so make sure you put them back the way that you took them off. All right, so we're all done. Got all the spark plugs swapped out. Got the new ones in. Got the coil packs back. Everything's torqued down to spec. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a test start to make sure everything works fine before I start putting the braces back on, because that would be a pain in the ass to have to do that twice. So, and then real quick, I'll show you the old plugs. My plugs were still pretty new, so they weren't really all that bad. But like I said, this was more for performance and to smooth out the tune a little bit than it was with replacing the plugs because they were worn. These probably only have about 6 months on them. I had just gotten them changed right before my BMW service plan and warranty had expired. So all things considered, they don't look too bad. So I'll probably just keep them as a backup set in case something goes wrong with these at any point while I'm waiting on a new shipment or something. But otherwise, these Bosch ones, they ran fine until I got the tune. And like I said, once I went with the pure turbo stage 2 and got into the aggressive, more aggressive tunes with boot mode, starting to notice a couple of things. So hopefully this will help smooth that out. Got no error messages outside of the windshield washer fluid, which we'll tackle that on another day. Car started up just fine. Seems to be idling pretty smooth. So I'm gonna take it for a test drive once I button everything back up, but sounds like everything's doing its thing. So I'm not really too concerned. Looks like we had another job well done. So thanks for watching. You can check out this B-roll time lapse of me putting everything back together, but this was a pretty easy DIY job if you got a couple of basic tools and take the time to take the brace off. I've seen guys try to do coil packs and spark plugs without removing all those extra bits. Doesn't take that long to get to those pieces and get those off, so you should just do that, and then you can just directly access everything that you need to get to without, you know, trying to work through weird angles and all that good stuff. So talk to you guys later.